sa ating mga kababayan at sa mga miyembro ng Malacanang Press Corps. Before we begin, I would like to mark our first briefing this December by greeting all of you a Merry Christmas and by hoping that the holidays are happy for everyone. Lalo na po sa mga taga-MPC, sana po hindi malamig ang inyong Pasko. Now on to the business of the day. Yesterday, the Interagency Task Force convened and approved the following resolution. Una, inaprubahan ng IATF ang pagbaba ng alert level ng probinsya ng Apayao mula alert level 3 to alert level 2 simula ngayong araw at 3 ng Disyembre hanggang 15 ng Disyembre 2021. Ito ay matapos amyendahan ng IATF ang metrics ng alert level classifications ng provinces, highly urbanized cities at independent component cities. Amendments include removing the 1-week growth rate as a metric for escalation from alert level 1 to alert level 2. The escalation of areas under alert level 1 to alert level 2 if either case classification or total COVID-19 bed utilization increases to moderate risk or higher. And the escalation of areas under alert level 2 to alert level 3 if both case classification and total COVID-19 bed utilization are at moderate risk or if case classification is at high to critical risk. Mamaya ay makakasama natin ang Direktor ng Epidemiology Bureau ng DOH, si Dr. Alethea de Guzman, para ipaliwanag po ito. This latest development means that as of today, no province or city is under alert level 3. Nasa ilalim na po ng alert level 2 ang buong bansa. Sana po tuloy-tuloy ito para maging tunay na maligaya ang Pasko para sa ating mga kababayan. Inaprubahan din ng IATF epektibo ngayong araw at 3 ng Disyembre ang bagong testing at quarantine protocols para sa paparating na international passengers na manggagaling sa mga lugar na hindi classified as red list. We have revised the testing and quarantine protocols for international passengers coming from countries not in the red list. Para sa fully vaccinated individuals, they shall be required to have a negative RT-PCR test conducted within 72 hours prior to departure from country of origin. Upon arrival in the Philippines, they shall undergo facility-based quarantine with an RT-PCR test taken on the 5th day, with date of arrival being the 1st day. Regardless of a negative result, they shall be required to undergo home quarantine up to the 14th day from date of arrival. Sa mga unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, or whose vaccination status cannot be independently validated, they shall be required a negative RT-PCR test conducted within 72 hours prior to departure from country of origin. Then upon arrival in the Philippines, they shall undergo facility-based quarantine with an RT-PCR test done on the 7th day, with date of arrival being the 1st day. Regardless of a negative result, they shall be required to undergo home quarantine up to the 14th day from date of arrival. Susundin naman ng mga menor de edad ang testing at quarantine protocols ng magulang or guardian na kasama nilang bumiyahe, anuman ang vaccination status ng bata at country of origin. Sa mga pasaherong dumating na sa bansa at kasalukuyang nagka-quarantine, ang testing at quarantine protocols na umiiral nang sila ay dumating ang siyang susundin. Those currently undergoing quarantine will follow the quarantine guidelines in place when they arrived in the country. Sa ating mga kababayan na may mga kamag-anak o minamahal abroad na may balak umuwi ngayong Pasko, sana ay maintindihan po natin kung bakit natin kailangan i-revise ang guidelines. Whatever changes or amendments adopted are prompted by a continuous assessment of prevailing conditions. Tuloy-tuloy po ang assessment natin ng mga development sa buong mundo. When there are developments that merit the adoption of a more cautious approach to the entry of individuals from overseas, the IATF will recommend what is necessary to safeguard the health of our people. Ulitin ko po, ginagawa po natin ito para protektahan ang ating mga kababayan. Sa mga Pilipinong nasa red list na pinapayagang makapasok sa Pilipinas sa pamamagitan ng government-initiated or non-government repatriations at bayanihan flights, ay pinapayagan silang lumapag sa bansa ngunit sa Ninoy Aquino International Airport or Clark International Airport lamang. Inaatasan ang Department of Transportation sa pamamagitan ng kanilang attached agencies na tiyaking sinusunod ng mga airline ang direktibang ito. Pagdating ng Pilipinas, kailangan nilang sumunod sa testing at quarantine protocols as prescribed under IATF Resolution number 149-A Series of 2021. Samantala, sa mga stranded nating kababayan sa Europa na nangangailangan ng emergency assistance o nais na bumalik sa Pilipinas, you are advised to contact the nearest Philippine Embassy or Consulate General in the area. Naka-flash po sa inyong screen ang contact details ng ating Philippine Mission sa Europa. So before we go to the questions from our friends from the media, let's first go to Dr. Alethea de Guzman, Director of the Epidemiology Bureau ng DOH. Dr. Thea, you have the floor.
Thank you, Capsec and Spokes, and magandang araw po to all who are watching or listening. Let me share the updates in terms of our situation at tungkol po sa Omicron at inabanggit nga po ng ating spokesperson ukol po sa ating mga alert level metrics. Daanan ko lang saglit at suportahan ang nabanggit nga po ng ating spokesperson that nationally we have actually already have a very low to minimal case classification of all areas. The Omicron variant, or the one formerly classified as B11529. We have now detected or identified 30 countries where this variant of concern has been detected either at their borders or at ngayon ay nag-undergo ng quarantine sa kanilang mga facilities o di kaya pinag-suspetsyahan na po natin na may mga local na kaso or transmission. We have highlighted here 14 countries with either known or suspected po na mga local cases or local transmission. Ang ibig pong sabihin pag local transmission, ang infection ay hindi na po nakuha mula sa ibang bansa at posibleng nakuha na po nila from these countries. These are South Africa, Botswana, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Portugal, Canada, Italy, South Korea, USA, Belgium, Norway, Switzerland, Iceland, and Nigeria. Nakikita natin na meron tayong 14 pa ring bansa na iniligay po natin sa red list. But note here that there are countries which we've marked with an asterisk. Dahil dalawa po yung metrics natin para ilagay tayo sa red list. Yun po mga bansang nakalagyan na meron pong mga asterisk. These were countries we escalated to the red list because of the presence of a local case or suspected local transmission of the Omicron variant. And for some of these are countries immediately contiguous to these areas na meron na pong mga local cases. Pero meron din pong mga bansa tulad ng Austria, Czech Republic, Hungary, the Netherlands at Switzerland na inakyat po natin to red list hindi dahil sa presence ng Omicron variant, kung hindi dahil na-meet po nila yung ating case and testing metrics at nakapagpakita po sila ng mabilis or very steep na growth rate, thus placing them under the red list. All of these will remain in this list until the 15th of December, and then we will reassess and recommend po. Nakita natin based on this, the previous slide, that in the next few days and in the past days, we've seen that the list of countries with this variant of concern has grown steadily. Yung mga nahahanap ay pwedeng nasa border lamang or nakita na nga po sa loob ng kanilang mga bansa. At dahil humahaba ang mga listahang to, kung gagamitin natin ang dati nating red list metrics, posibleng humaba na rin po ang listahan ng mga bansang ibaban po natin, no? For passengers from these countries not to be able to enter the Philippines. And as such, the IETF Task Force on COVID-19 variants is continuously assessing this situation. So we conduct risk assessment at nire-review natin ang ating quarantine protocols para tayo makapag-recommenda na pinaka-appropriate that will put the best safeguards to delay the entry of this variant of concern in our country. And this is what we'd like to relay. Una, meron nga pong potential ng mabilis na pag-transmit ng variant of concern na to. And as such, posibleng kapag siya nga ay nakapasok, makakita tayo ng biglaang pagtaas ng kaso tulad nung nakapasok po ang Alpha, Beta at Delta variants. Nare-report din na posibleng may epekto ang Omicron sa ating vaccines, pero ang sinasabi ng datos, ang bakuna ay naiiwang epektibo. Pero posible nga pong may kaunting pagbaba sa kanyang tinatawag na efficacy or effectiveness. Ikatlo, wala hong ebidensya ng Omicron variant ay mas malala, ay nakakapag-cause ng mas malalang sakit, makakapagpataas ng tsansa ng death, o di kaya merong particular age group tulad ng mga bata na mas magiging apektado. Lahat ng mga datos na to ay tuloy-tuloy na pinag-aaralan ng WHO at ng ating mga global experts at ine-expect na sa susunod na 1 o 2 linggo ay meron tayo mga bagong datos na makukuha o di kaya mga bago pong recommendations. Base po dito sa nailahad natin, nangangailangan talaga na ang ating door 2 o yung mga international ports of entry natin ay lalo pa nating palakasin. Una, the situation is continually evolving and there are so many unknowns. And secondly, nakikita natin na kailangan protektahan natin ang mga bansa, ang ating bansa dahil posibleng may mga delays sa pagre-report ng mga bansa na meron ng local cases ng Omicron o di kaya meron din ng mga bansa na pwedeng hindi pa ganong kalakas ang kanilang whole genome sequencing at yung kakayahan nilang makadetect ng Omicron na to. So kailangan natin i-safeguard ang ating mga international ports of entry. Kaya naman, ito ang mga naging rekomendasyon at naaprubahan natin sa IETF. Una, i-maintain natin ang kasalukuyan nating listahan ng red list at ito nga po ay maiiwan hanggang December 15 and then we will review. Ikalawa ay mga nauna nating na-announce na isususpend muna ang ating green list protocols. At in-enhance natin ngayon ang yellow list protocols natin. Ano po yung 3 enhancements na ginawa po natin? Una, lahat ng papasok ngayon na arrivals from these non-red list or the yellow list or those who need to follow these yellow list protocols will need to have a negative pre-departure testing. Ang dahilan po, kaya natin ito in-recommenda, ay gusto nating mapababa. Let us minimize the risk that there will be an infected traveler who may be infecting or transmitting to other passengers in the flight going back to the Philippines. Ikalawa po nating pagbabago o na ginawa ay ang pagbalik, from a 3rd day to a 5th day test para sa mga fully vaccinated individuals po natin. At yung ikatlo ay ang pag-complete nila ng 14-day home quarantine. Dati, para sa mga fully vaccinated, nire-recommenda na lamang natin na mag-self-monitor sila ng kanilang mga symptoms. Pero dahil nga nais nating palakasin ang ating quarantine protocols, mula sa self-monitoring, lahat ng ating allowed na arrivals will need to complete this 14-day home quarantine to ensure that even after a negative test and they have been endorsed to their LGUs, babantayin pa rin sila, magse-self-report sila ng kanilang kung meron o wala pa rin silang nararamdamang mga sintomas at kung meron bang may makita tayong arrivals in our LGUs within that 14-day na naging symptomatic, dapat agaran po silang itest using RT-PCR. Gusto rin naming magbigay ng update na binabantayan natin yung mga bansang nilagay nga natin sa red list, subalit una nating na-classify as green list. These were South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. Subalit sa tatlong bansang yon, South Africa lamang ang meron tayong mga nakitang arrivals noong huling 2 linggo ng Nobyembre. Meron tayong 254 arrivals who are from South Africa. Isa dito ay nag-positibo on RT-PCR at nagpapatuloy, kinokompleto ang kanyang isolation. Sinisecure na natin ang kanyang sample upang mapadala sa UP Philippine Genome Center at mag-undergo ng whole genome sequencing. Of the total na 254, ang VOQ at ang ating mga regional and local epidemiology and surveillance units ay nahanap at nakontak na ang 71. 4 dito ay na-test na, 3 ay negatibo at 1 ay iniinlay pa natin ang resulta. And the other 67 are yet to be retested. But all 71 who have been located and verified are undergoing quarantine. 70 of these are under facility quarantine, and this includes the 3 foreign nationals who arrived or who were in Region 6, at meron tayong isang under home quarantine who is an returning overseas Filipino. Last na lang pong gusto namin ipaabot ay ang ating tuloy-tuloy na country response to Omicron, at ito isang paalala na despite the fact that meron tayong low case transmission, kailangan pong maging vigilant po tayo. Ang ating LGs ngayon are on heightened alert upang agad na ma-report sa atin kung may biglaang pagtaas o pagkakaroon ng clusters. At ito ginagawa through our surveillance and active case finding. Ikalawa ay yung tuloy-tuloy nating panawagan na lahat ng mga naging symptomatic ay dapat na agad ding na-isolate at nakakontact trace at natitest. Napakahalaga ng pagsunod natin sa minimum public health standards at ang kombinasyon nito with our vaccination, as these remain to be the most effective preventive measures. At dahil nga sa Omicron, tayo ay higit pang naghahanda at pineprepara ang ating health system in case una, makapasok ang Omicron, at ikalawa, tayo nga ay makakita ng biglaang pagtaas ng kaso. And all through this is the continuous biosurveillance to our whole genome sequencing upang makita natin kung meron na ba tayong mga arrivals or local cases na posibleng nagpositibo po sa Omicron. So yun lamang po, Cabsec. Thank you very much, and again, good day.
Hi, good afternoon, Secretary Nograles at kay Dr. De Guzman. Secretary Nograles, a quick follow-up lang po sa bagong IATF policies, dun po sa mas mahabang quarantine protocols. Ano po yung gagawing hakbang ng IATF sakali nga may mga magtatangka na lumusot, lalo na kung gusto nila makasama yung pamilya nila sa Pasko, or magtatangkang sumuway? Paano po natin may ensure na talagang strictly ay may papatupad ito?
Well, very strict ang orders ni Pangulo, ang orders din ng lahat ng mga national government agencies at ng buong IATF, NTF. Lahat po kami, let us strictly follow mga protocols and guidelines set by the IATF dahil ito po ay para sa protection nating lahat, ng buong bansa, ng lahat ng Pilipino. So walang dapat susuway, we have to be very, very strict dito sa implementation. Again, hindi ito para pahirapan ang ating mga kababayan. This is for our good, our protection. This is for public health because we still are facing this public health emergency. So, lahat po ng ating mga law enforcers, lahat ng ating mga kailangan mag-implement ng mga agencies, implementing agencies natin, are under strict orders to follow to the letter lahat ng mga guidelines at resolutions na pinapalabas ng IATF. Anyone that violates, they will face the consequences.
Opo. And as Secretary Nograles, even the DOH can also answer po. Kasi malapit na magpasko at bagong taon. Pero nangangamba yung ilan, lalo na sa gitna ng banta ng Omicron variant na baka ngayon pa magkaroon ng malawakang lockdown like ito nga ECQ. So sa panig lang po ng gobyerno, just to manage the expectation of the public, ano po yung magtutulak sa pamahalaan para nga muling magdeklara ng ECQ ECQ either sa NCR or nationwide. May posibilidad nga po ba ito?
We have already shifted to the alert level systems. So ang susundin na lang po natin yung guidelines natin ng alert level systems. So wala na po tayo dun sa mga ECQ, nakashift na po tayo sa ALS system. So yun po. And that's the reason why nagbigay po tayo ng briefing ngayon para ipaliwanag sa ating mga kababayan yung mga circumstances at yung mga parameters ng pag-shift mula alert level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So ito pong susundin natin. Right now, we're on alert level 2. At kung patuloy pa rin naman po yung pagbaba ng kaso natin at maganda yung mga numbers and whenever they're still within the parameters, then we will not shift to any higher alert level. So yung metrics po natin is very, very transparent at hindi naman ito basta-bastang gagawin ng IATF until based on the metrics and the parameters ay makikita natin ang kailangan nating i-elevate yung alert level for any locality.
What does the palace think of NEDA Chief Chua's proposal to limit the monitoring of COVID cases to total severe or critical cases who were hospitalized due to COVID-19, the case fatality ratio to reduce the need to raise alert levels? He says COVID should be treated as endemic. Will Malacanang heed his suggestions?
Well, si Secretary Carl Chua is an active member of the IATF and actively participates. So lahat ng mga suggestions and recommendations po niya ay pinaprocess ng buong IATF because it's an interagency task force. So all department secretaries involved in that interagency will also have their inputs, no? That being said, apart from the metrics na sinasabi ni Secretary Carl Chua, we also look at other metrics. At ang lumabas nga po after the meeting kahapon is this new protocols natin when we need to elevate, we need to escalate from level 1 to 2 to 3, and vice versa, no? When we need to de-escalate. So ito na po yung pinaka-latest na parameters po natin and metrics that we have as an IATF agreed upon. Maraming salamat. Of course, Yusek Rocky and Dr. Alethea de Guzman, ang director natin ng Epidemiology Bureau ng DOH. And before ending, allow me to again thank all those who have worked so hard so that our people can have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Just to put everything in perspective po, dito sa National Vaccination Days, in each day, every vaccination center is open for around 12 hours. In many cases, even more. But let's be conservative and use 12 hours as our average. If that is the case, 8.01 million people vaccinated over the course of 36 hours is approximately 222,500 Filipinos vaccinated per hour, or 3,708 people vaccinated per minute, or something like 62 Filipinos vaccinated per second. 62 Filipinos per second. Yan po ang nagawa nitong National Vaccination Days. Everywhere in the country, we have dedicated frontliners, LGU workers, people from the DILG and the DOH, barangay workers, volunteers, our police, and so many others working hard to vaccinate our people. To all of you po, maraming salamat. Kayo po ang tunay na bayani ng bayanihan, bakunahan. Hanggang ngayon, nananatili ang ating panawagan, kailangan nating magtulungan. Dahil yan po ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Maraming salamat po. Ingat po lagi. God bless.